All right, guys. Well, welcome to our weekly industry update on this beautiful Monday morning. Um, I'm happy that you guys are able to make it, and we will go ahead and get started. Um, if you guys don't notice, our market is actually just a little slower, right, than what we anticipated. During the spring, it was slower. And it has just been moving a little bit slower than what we anticipated. But what I will say is, I don't know if you guys noticed, and Danila and Yvette, you guys are newer in the business. Adriana, I'm not sure if you've noticed where I'm starting to get having more listing conversations.
Mm.
Like people,
Adriana, how?
yeah, like
Go
people
ahead.
considering selling.
Yes, people considering selling, and I actually have I have two listings. One is a probate, so that's going to happen, regardless because they have to sell. But I have, you know what it is? I guess it is life things happening. You know how they said right now, and they've said this from the beginning of this year, is that people who sell right now and people who buy are people who have to or who really want to, or this is something that they must do. So when I'm looking at that, in case in my scenario, I've got three listings right now. I've got one that's a probate, right? They have to sell because the property's in foreclosure and the person passed.
Mhm.
I have one, my seller she's like, I'm done, Brandy. I don't want to be a landlord no more. Let's sell it, right? And I've been talking her out of selling this property for 3 years. So now that it's like actually for even longer, more like 7 years. So now she's like, let's do it. And then the third one is my past client who was she was a friend. She died. And her dad called me on yet last week and said, hey, Brandy, I'm a broker. He's a broker for 55 years in the business. And he said, however, I wanted Joy to do this all on her own. And she found you years ago, and you've helped her over the years buy and sell. He goes, so we want you to represent the property because that would have been her wishes. And so I get choked up even talking about it. But I'm so honored.
Friend.
And so, but that's the three situations right now, and they're life situations.
Mhm.
How about you, Adriana? Are you having more conversations on the listing side?
Definitely more conversations. I don't know if it's just kind of like I feel like the state of the world, or I mean, or now the world, right? As of this weekend, not even just,
Yes.
California or anything like that, but I think people are planning some long-term moves or looking at, this is what I have, what can I do to help, my children, um, things like that. I think for a while, just a sense I'm getting, I think for a while people thought that maybe like the cost of living was, high, but things were gonna offset. And now I think they're realizing like it's gonna stay this way.
Yep.
So
Yeah. That new reality is setting in.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think as that new reality continues to set in, you'll have more buyers getting off the fence. You'll have more sellers going ahead and saying, yep, let's go ahead. I want to move forward with the rest of my life. I'm tired of hanging
Mhm.
on because, I got the 3%. Nope, I don't need this big house. It's costing me more to maintain it, whatever the case may be. Um, and I think that's where we talk about all the time that we have to be top of mind so that when they finally do decide, like, I'm done being in this situation, I either want to buy or I need to sell, that you're the person that they decide to work
Mhm.
with. And the only way you're going to be that person that they decide to work with is if you've built up that know, like, and trust,
Mhm.
right, with that person. And so we really have got to do a better job at that. And it's not that difficult if you have systems in place to do it, right?
Right.
And the number one way to do that is definitely getting on the phone and calling, texting, doing those things.
Mhm.
And then following that up with what's in it for them, right? Like what can you give to them that can help them with their decision, with just information that they might be thinking about. So again, just want to put that out there because we are seeing our market is shifting. And we have to be on the forefront of that. So right now is really good time to be sowing those seeds with everybody in your database so that, you know, they know that you are a realtor and you can help them. Okay. So important, you guys, so important. Right. So let's get into why you're really here. All right. So we are, you know, to be TCPA compliant. Okay. Make sure that you guys are not calling people that are not or that are on the do not call list. We got another lawsuit that we heard about just recently. Somebody, I think it was at Compass, is being sued for realtors calling somebody on the do not call list. So be careful about that. Okay. All right. Los Angeles County. Our new sales trend. Oh man, we've got 2 of the 3 major sales trends in the red. So for sale properties is still up 8.9% over last month, and 40.8% over last year, you guys. So definitely more inventory on the market in Los Angeles County than ever before, you know, than last year, not ever before, but then last year. Okay. To the tune of 40.8%. That's a lot of inventory. Those are people who, you know, last year were sitting on their properties and now decided, okay, I'm tired. It's time to go, right? Or retired or whatever the case may be. But we've got new inventory to the tune, I won't say new inventory, but we've got more inventory to the tune of 40.8%. More than last year. Sold properties are down 3.4% over last month. Now sold meaning closed, right? And then down 0.8% over last year. So we've got 0.8% less closings than we did last year. Now, remember the prediction is that we are supposed to have 5 to 10% more closings than we did last year. So far in LA County, we're tracking less. So we got to keep our eye on that. It's not much less, right? It's not, we're almost even, but definitely last week, I think we were sitting at like 0.4%. Now it's moving down, or moving up to 0.8%. So we gotta really watch that. Pendants are down 7.9% over last month and down 0.7% over last year. Okay, so properties that are in escrow, there's less of them to the tune of 0.7% over as compared to last year. Now, new listing inventory is down 8.4% over last month, or as compared to last month, and up 15.5% over last year. So that is a good sign that we've got more new listing inventory than we did last year, right? All right, average active price is down 3.6% as compared to last month and down 11.9% as compared to last year. So as compared to last year, sellers are asking 11.9% less than they did, okay? So that's a good, I mean, that's really good for buyers looking at this thing saying, okay, you know, everybody's telling me house prices are rising, and they are, because look at this, sellers are receiving 7.2% more than they did last year. Okay. So although they're asking for 11.9% less, they're receiving 7.2% more. Okay. So keep that in mind. You know, when you're talking about LA County, it's still trending that LA County is appreciating 7.2% on average right now. Okay. So keep that in mind. But it's not, 7.2% is not egregious, right? It's not like, oh my God, house prices have gone up 20%. No, it's 7.2%. And this is where you have the opportunity to be hyper local so that you'll know the exact amount of appreciation in your area as compared to last year. Okay. Now, months of inventory, because we know we've got more inventory than we did last year. So we should see months of inventory rise. So it's 17.6% higher than it was last month. We were at 3.4%. I'm sorry, 3.4 months of inventory last month. We're at 4 months of inventory currently. And then it's up 41.5% as compared to last year. So last year, we were at 2.9 months of inventory, and currently we are at 4.1 months of inventory. So we are definitely knocking on that door to a normal market where we should have a supply and demand be somewhat in alignment. And what does that mean? That just means that your buyers will have, instead of them having to make a split decision on a property because it's going to be swooped up, right? Now they have a little bit of time to actually make a decision. However, again, you've got to be hyper local. You can't assume anything, right? Our job is to act with urgency. So when a property comes on the market, you should be showing that property. You should be calling that listing agent if it matches your buyer's criteria, right? Because you don't want to miss it because you thought, oh, we have some time. Okay. But if it doesn't have any offers on it and you show your client, they may not have to make a decision right then and there. Right. I'm going to mute you guys. There we go. All righty. So that everybody can hear. All right. So, or were there any questions on that? Maybe you were off mute because you had a question. No? Okay. All right. Average days on market is increased 3.1% as compared to last month. We were at 32 days on market. Last month, we're at 33 days on market currently. Not a big deal. And it is increased 19.4% as compared to last year. So last year, we were at 31 days on market, currently 37 days on market. If we have more inventory, you're going to expect your days on market to increase, right? Just like if we have more days on market, you're going to expect that we're going to have more months of inventory, right? And our absorption rate would become higher. Okay. So sold versus original list price is down 5.1%. We were at 98% of list price last month. We're at 93% of list price currently. And remember, we're talking about, actually, I was going to say the first, but this is the 23rd day. So really, this is coming towards the end of the month now. Let's see. The year-over-year comparison is a 1% decrease over last year. So last year we were at 98% of list price, currently 97% of list price. Sellers are receiving 97% of list price, which is still good. We're in the upper 90s, right? So again, this is your opportunity to be hyper local and show your buyers or sellers where their specific neighborhood falls in this. And then again, you're going to help them to achieve 100% of list price by pricing their property properly. Pricing their property properly. Woo, PPPs. All right. Orange County is up. So Orange County for sale properties is increased 8.5% as compared to last month, and 58.5% as compared to last year. So we know that Orange County has been suffering gravely from a lack of inventory over the past few years. Okay. Inventory has been very scarce. So now that you're seeing these big increases, I know you're like, woo, they should have a lot of inventory, and they have more, definitely 58.5%, almost 60% more inventory. However, they had none. All right. So they had none. It was ridiculous. And you guys will see that in the chart. All right, so sold properties, and I said all that to say is they're in a better place than they were last year. However, we're not out of the woods because they still need more inventory. I said all that, so let me button that up. All right, sold is down 3.2% as compared to last month, and down 4% as compared to last year. Okay, so we are selling 4% less than we did last year. Now they are a little bit more. 4% is a little bit more. Is a higher number than in LA County at 0.8%, not even 1%. Orange County is trending downward and they're already at 4%. So again, we're hoping that the summer months, which is normally a big selling time for us as well, will rebound. We'll get a rebound of sales and closings during the summer months, which will bring this property and put it in the green, right? Or bring this number and put it in the green. Okay. Pendants are down 8.3% as compared to last month, and down 3.4% over last year. Okay. So we have 3.4% less pendants or less escrows than we did last year so far in the year. And we're at the halfway mark at this point, right? This is literally, this is the halfway mark, you guys. 6 months, right? That's it. So, and we know, like, typically months 11 and 12, we have less closings because of the holidays. So really, this is go time. We're in the sweet spot of the market. This is go time. This is when we need to be talking with everybody about real estate, because this right now is when people buy and sell. Okay. All right, new listings is down 17.6% as compared to last month, and up 12.1% over last year. So definitely seeing some good improvements in the amount of inventory that we have in Orange County. Average active price is down 3.6% as compared to last month, and down 13.4% over last year, which is just phenomenal. Or for Orange County, because Orange County is normally on the flip side of that, and Orange County is normally asking for way more year over year. Okay, so they really had some revelations here showing, or the Orange County sellers really have some good education and counseling from the realtors in the area, telling them that, look, you can't be trying to get more right now. You've got more inventory coming on the markets, you got more competition, interest rates are higher. So they really have come down on what they were actually asking. Now, they're asking for 13.4% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 5.7% more than they did last year, again, which is totally normal amount of appreciation. Anywhere between 4 to 7% appreciation is normal. Okay, so that's a good 5.7% is a good number. And again, it's good for your buyers as well. You could tell them, look, you know what? I mean, yes, had you bought last year, you would have seen 5.7% appreciation. However, it is not astronomical. So it's good for you to buy now before you miss out on another 5.7% of appreciation, right? So we can make a story for anything, you guys. We can make a story for anything, but in all honesty, we don't have to tell a story, do we? We don't have to tell a story, because it is always good to buy real estate, right? Especially if it's your long-term strategy, it's good to buy real estate. How do you think most of the wealthy people became wealthy? Real estate, right? All right, months of inventory. A 15.9% increase over last month. Last month, we were at 2.5 months of inventory, currently at 2.9 months of inventory. And then a 66% increase over last year. See, that's what I was talking about. 66%. Why? Because last year we only had 1.8 months of inventory, and currently we're at 3, which is phenomenal for Orange County. So it is good. It's moving in the right direction. Average days on market is 12% increase. We were at 25 days on market last month. We're at 28 days on market currently. And then a 29.2% increase over last year. We were at 24 days on market last year. We're at 31 days on market currently. Okay. Sold versus original list price, a 2% decrease over last month. Last month, we were at 98% of list price, which means sellers are receiving 98% of what they were asking. Okay. What they listed for. Currently, they're at 96% of list price. Now, as compared to last year, we have a 2% decrease. So last year we were at 99% of list price, and currently 97% of list price. So still upper 90s, just like this. I think these are almost exact numbers to LA County, almost. But I think both are receiving 97% of list price at this current time in the year. Okay. All right, let's roll. Riverside County. For sale properties is down 0.5% as compared to last month, and up 37.8% over last year. So again, more inventory across the board, right? In all 3 counties so far. Sold properties are down 8.2% as compared to last month, and down 3.1% as compared to last year. Pendants are up 4.9% over last month, and down 0.5% as compared to last year. Okay. So we definitely have the trending is here in all 3 counties. For sale properties has increased over the past year as compared to last year, and then sold and pendants in all 3 counties so far have gone down. Okay, so again, we're hoping that this rebounds as a result of the activity in the market in these summer months. right? And so we'll be watching that as we do these week over week. New listing inventory has gone down 21.5% as compared to last month. However, it's up 7.8% as compared to last year. Okay, so we still are seeing new listings coming on the market in Riverside County, 7.8% more. Average active price is down 5.5% over last month and down 6.1% over last year. Okay, so sellers are asking 6.1% less than they did last year. However, they're receiving 1.3% higher than they did last year. So not nearly as much as we are seeing in LA and Orange County, right? In Riverside County. And we expect that. We expect there to be a lesser of appreciation because you're going farther out, right? You're going much farther out from the inner cities, right? To the tune of 1.3% is improvement, but it is still improvement. It is still a higher amount than in the other counties. But again, you got to be hyper local, because what that 1.3% means is that in some areas it's negative, right? And in some areas it's positive. You've got to know which neighborhood you're in and which way that's going, right? You've got to know if there's appreciation or depreciation, okay? Or if it's stable, if it's the same as it was last year, right? You've got to know that by being the local expert. You've got to know that. All right, months of inventory, a 13.7% increase over last month. We were at 33.6 months of inventory last month. We're at 4.1 months of inventory currently in the month, and a 43.9% increase over last year. We were at 2.7 months of inventory last year. We're at 3.9 months of inventory currently, okay? Average days on market, a 4% decrease over last year. We were at 50 days on market last year. We're at 48 days on market currently. And then an 18.6% increase over last year. So last year we were at 43 days on market, currently 51 days on market. Okay, so again, a pretty long time. 51 days is almost 2 months, right? But again, don't let that fool you guys. Get out there and be able to help your buyers to negotiate a good deal. Help your buyers to still have a sense of urgency, because inevitably, and I bet you Adriana, any other seasoned agent on this call can attest to this. The moment that your client becomes interested in that property and it has been sitting on the market for 45 days, the moment that your client goes to see that property, they'll be like, oh, I did an open house over the weekend. I got 2 other offers. And you'll be like, right? It never fails. It never fails. So get your clients out there still, but you can get your client a potentially a good deal when properties are sitting on the market longer than 30 days. There should be room for negotiation. Okay. All right. Sold versus original list price, a 1% increase over last month. We were at 96% of list price last month. We're at 97% of list price currently, and a 1% decrease over last year. So last year we were at 97% of list price and currently at 96% of list price. So this Riverside County is very similar to LA County and Orange County. I think Orange County and LA County right now we're sitting at 97% of list price. Again, you have got the power to help your clients to get 100% of list price by the PPP, pricing the property correctly. But that's not what I was saying. Properly pricing the property, right? So make sure you're helping them to do that, all righty? So that they can get 100% or over 100%, right? All right, San Bernardino County, we are rolling. San Bernardino County, for sale properties has increased 6.3% over last year. I'm sorry, over last month. And then 38.5% over last year. Okay, so again, more inventory coming on the market across the board. Sold properties have gone down 1.3% over last month and 3.9% as compared to last year. Okay, a 3.9% decrease as compared to last year. Penders are up 0.9% over last month However, down 1% as compared to last year. Okay, so not very much, but this is just like in all the other counties, solds and pendants being in the red. So we'll keep an eye on that. New listing inventory has gone down 15.4% as compared to last month. However, increased 10.6% overall as compared to last year. Okay, so again, all these trends are really in line with one another. Average active price is down 0.2% as compared to last month, and down 3% as compared to last year. So again, very small amount. Sellers are asking for a little bit less than they did last year, to the tune of 3% less. However, they're receiving 5.1% more than they did last year. Okay, which is great because it is in that normal range of appreciation. All righty. All right, months of inventory. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, you guys. My throat is like going in and out of being dry. All right, months of inventory. 11.1% increase over last month. So we were at 4.5 months of inventory last month. We're currently at 5 months of inventory. So San Bernardino County, unlike all the other counties, right, is definitely within that normal market range, sitting at 4.9 months of inventory, which is 43.9% higher than it was last year. Okay, so definitely it is at that normal market. So we should see the supply and demand be much in alignment, meaning you've got a buyer, you've got a seller, right? And we know that things don't quite happen like that because why? Because neighborhoods are different, right? Because conditions of properties are different, right? So that's why things don't feel like that. Because people be like, well, we're in a normal market. Why was my buyer in competition? Well, your buyer likes the property that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, completely remodeled at the right price. Everybody's interested in that property. Okay, so that's why area, condition, price point, all those things, all those factors come into play, even in a normal market. Okay. Average days on market has gone down 6.5% as compared to last month. So we're at 46 days on market last month. We're at 43 days on market currently. And then a 20.5% increase over last year. We were at 39 days on market last year. We're at 47 days on market currently. And then sold versus original list price, look at that, no change. We're at 98% of list price across the board, guys. So that's great. San Bernardino County is very strong right now. Okay, market is very strong out there. All right, we got through our preliminary update. We're going to get into upcoming events. Any questions on anything before we move into our upcoming events? We got some good upcoming events for you this week. No questions? Okay, let's go. All right, so this week we have got, obviously, the update right now. We've got group coaching at 12, which is actually going to be held by Rosie Rodriguez. You guys know Rosie, our lender with Downey Capital. Rosie is going to be actually doing all the different lending programs. She's going to be talking about them and giving you the pros and the cons, giving you the updates on the down payment that's required for each program, and then talking about the requirements. So the other requirements. So I think that that's really necessary for all of us to keep up to date with. So she's going to be doing that at 12 o'clock. She'll have handouts for you. That is in-house and on Zoom. We will have Eileen with her tech workshop this evening. She's going to be doing the 5:30 workshop. So I'm going to go through some slides, but I do want everybody to put on your calendars. I need you guys to RSVP. We on Monday, June 30th. If we are late, you guys, and please accept my sincerest apologies. We are late. We are doing our award ceremony. It is going to be upstairs. We have a training room upstairs. We're going to be doing our award ceremony. We want everybody to come out and celebrate with us, all the different folks who have won awards in 2024. So come out and celebrate with us. So we are going to be, that's going to be from 2 to 4, 2 to 2:30. Is going to be like, just come in, get some treats because we're going to have food. And we're going to have food and drinks. So please come. And then we'll start our award ceremony around 2:30. And it's going to be fun. You guys know we have door prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come and hang out with us and celebrate your fellow your fellow agents. All right. Monday, June 30th. Okay, right here, 2:00. All right. Group coaching again today. And then our tech workshop this evening. Now, remember, conversations in real play on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Next week, we will have it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Q&A with Ed is going to be Tuesday at 11. He will be here in-house tomorrow, okay? And then I believe, and I was supposed to ask, I believe Pavin's, if anybody is on here that attends Pavin's class, I think tomorrow is actually his last day. And tomorrow is the pitch. Is Chris on here? Or Danila? Or I'm not sure, Danila, if you've done it. But
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
haven't been keeping track of it. It very well may be the last day in the pitch day, though, for sure.
I
Yeah.
think it is. I think it is because Chris and Oscar were practicing last week. We didn't have it last week. I think it will. Tomorrow will be the last day, and it will be pitching your investment property to an investor to have them want to buy it. Okay. All right. So let's go. The tech workshop on Wednesday, you guys know, with Martha. So she does that. Then Wednesdays and Thursdays, of course, we have our Zoom with Ed going over the contracts. We have Dial for Dollars Thursday at 2 p.m. That's with Victor. Now, please do your homework. Do not have that man kicking you out of class. Please, please, please. Because he will. He's very hardcore. If you're going to take the time to take the class, you got to do the homework, right? And so definitely this is a good class. If you like high accountability, if you want specific action items to take to go out and get a deal, this is the class for you. Okay. He is going to give you specifics to do things to go get a deal. I should say, lead generation activities to go get a deal. Okay. And then on Friday, Gloria, our wonderful Gloria Navarro from Old Republic, she's bringing this gentleman in. He is he's going to be talking about mindset. Okay. And the four pillars of momentum. So clarifying your major purpose, creating a blueprint for success, programming your mind for victory, and the philosophy of fulfillment. So she loves him. She thinks he's wonderful and wanted to sponsor to bring him in. It is a lunch and learn. So please be here Friday at 12:30. And let us know that you're coming. You do have to, I think we have a QR code. And if not, just email the front desk 561@kw.com so that we know that you're attending, because we got to know how and the number of people for lunch. Okay. And then on the 30th, we're going to announce who our winner is for our weight loss competition. So that's ends on June 30th, and the winner takes the pot. All right. I think there's like freaking $300-400 in that pot. All right. So a lot of money at stake here. I know I haven't won, so we just gonna end it. I'm not stepping on the scale, none of that. Don't ask. All right. All right. So Rory Vaden has a book, Wealthy and Well Known. And if you guys scan this code, you can get the audio book for free. It is not even on the market yet, but because he loves Keller Williams agents, he gave us a sneak peek. So this is the QR code, Wealthy and Well Known, building your personal brand and turn your reputation into revenue. All right. And then don't forget content days with the DAOR. You guys can go out. It's the third Thursday of every month. And you can go out and they have a list of properties that are going to be open on that Thursday. And you get to go through, meet the agents and actually video the property and create content for yourselves. Okay. Of course, Ignite. I always tell you guys about this. Sorry, that shouldn't have been there. And then we have the new Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast just dropped today. Serve the fastest growing real estate demographic. And what do you guys think the fastest growing real estate demographic is? Anybody?
Is it like maybe the baby boomers selling?
You are right, Danila. Look at
Cool.
you. All right. Huh. When you come in, get your prize. It is a double wall insulated tumbler that says, I came, I saw, I sold.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, it is. So he's going to be talking about how he's done some creative things to reach that demographic and really add value. And he does a lot of sales. Dan Ihara. So you guys listen into that one. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm told that it was really, really good and had some really creative ideas in there on how to reach that demographic. Okay. That demographic is my mother. So I know that it's a growing demographic. It's all my aunts, right? All my aunts and uncles, they're the baby boomers. And they have sold, because I've sold several of their properties in the last 5 years, or will be selling in the next 5 years. So definitely. All right. The One Thing podcast, how to reverse engineer your biggest goals and hit them. This story on this gentleman, he read the one thing. I think I'm underestimating it, but I know they said over 5 times. I think it was 10. And do you guys know in the last 5 years, I think it was 3 to 5 years, he has purchased $30 million in real estate. And he didn't have no money. He didn't have a bunch of money, you guys. But he took the one thing and applied what it was talking about in terms of hyper focusing on your one thing. And he just blew it up. So I can't wait to listen to this podcast to understand, what he did. Oh yeah. Describing where you want to be in 3 years. It took him 3 years. So it's an amazing story. I can't wait to listen to it and learn how he did this and have record-breaking success within the 3 years, just applying the one thing concept. All right. So really good. And this is an AI book. You guys can disregard. I'm learning AI, and if you want to look, this is the book 101 plus AI tips, tools, and prompts for sales pros. This lady, Julie Holmes, is going to be speaking at Mega Agent Camp, Mega Camp that's coming up in August. She's going to be speaking at the CEO Summit. And if you really want to, I think this right here is kind of the introductory for AI. But AI can do so much. Most of us are just using it as a search engine, which is good but it can do so much more. Okay. All right. Industry news. The federal governor pushes for July rates cuts. And so what they're saying is that the Federal Reserve had paused, any rate cuts because of the economy, state of the economy, the state of inflation. And they're saying that this could end soon, that they could cut the rates very soon. They just had a meeting and they did not cut the rates, but they are being pushed. Obviously, the president was pushing them, but now the federal governor is pushing them. And they said that with the talks with the Fed, that they believe that they are softening, and could potentially cut the rates in the next month. So, or in the next month or two. So we will be looking at that. It, you know, the FHFA director was upset about the high rates. And also, the Senate is considering selling federal land for housing, so that there could be more building, there could be more development on the some housing that the federal government owns. So it's a lot of stuff going on right now to try to address our housing shortage and try to address the sluggish market that we're in right now. Okay. So that's why they're being pushed to lower the rates, right? So that the buyers will get off the fence and they'll hop back in the market. We could get sales back up and going so that homeowners will refinance or will think about selling and buying. So they'll get off their big house and move into the condo or the townhome so that they could downsize. You know, a lot of things are predicated on those interest rates dropping a little bit and giving some relief, because people are still sitting and buyers are still sitting because they want to see those interest rates go down. Okay. They don't understand that when that interest rates go down, everybody floods the market and prices go up. Right. And that's something that we've been trying. I know all of us on this call have been trying to put in the heads of our buyers is no, don't wait. Don't do it, because then you might get priced out of the market. But you know what? As my mother used to say, some people don't understand that fat meat is greasy. That's what she said. I'm just telling you. And yes, I'm very country. So, all right. Home construction stalls as costs rise, demand softens. So you guys should know this again with the all the market factors that are going down, that have been coming across. Home construction has stalled. We were seeing a lot of home construction going on because we had looser or softened some policies that were allowing developers to build without a bunch of red tape, because we knew we were in a crisis. We knew we needed more homes. But now, with the market factors and the economic factors, what's happening is there's less permits for building right now. And so really builders are kind of holding off because they don't want to, they want to build and then they're not able to recoup, right? Because the buyers aren't buying. So they're kind of holding back right now because buyers are on the fence. And when they're on the fence, they're not only on the fence for resale or, for resale, they're on the fence for housing, period. Right. Now, I believe home builders have an advantage to a resale, right? Or to standard financing, because home builders can offer all kind of incentives that the others can't. They can do a 2-to-1 right off the back. They don't and just offer that to the buyer. They can offer an introductory interest rate. They can offer all kind of down payment assistance and things like that. They can do a lot that your normal seller just really can't do, right? So home builders have a lot of advantages. However, they are still seeing the sluggish market and they're saying, hang on, we do not want to overbuild and be on the stick for this, right? So single family starts, they were down 7.3% as compared to last year, right? And permits dropped 6.4%. And so they are also facing higher materials costs, right? So they've got higher the wood, all the materials that it takes to build, and the tariff uncertainty. So there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market that causes it all flows downhill. It affects all of us in the industry, all of us. And so it's going to affect construction, it's going to affect home sales on new construction. It just does. Any questions about this, you guys? There are still a lot of new developments. You guys know we had the new development come, Montebello Walk, and here in Downey. They just released, I think it's 33 units. and they're tri-level townhomes. Beautiful. They had a construction walk this past Sunday, and they're doing it next Sunday. So you get to walk it while it's being built. And they're going to do one next Sunday as well. So you guys should come out, and you guys should, again, that's something that we video. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out there
How do
while
we
they're
sign
doing
up
it.
for that, Brandy? How do we find that
You don't
information?
even have to sign up. I'm going to actually have Monica email that out to everybody and post it in the hub. Because the lady texted to me on Sunday. I was in church, and she texted to me, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" Well, but she said we're doing it next week as well.
Awesome.
So I will get that to you guys. We will get that to you guys, so that you guys can get that on your calendars for next Sunday or this coming up Sunday. Any other questions? We are done for the day.
I do have a quick question, and it's just about leveraging yourself as a newer agent. Like, I know you're saying right now, summer months is a time where they got businesses booming and it's popping. How do you leverage yourself when, like, I know the stuff, I'm learning the stuff, so I can speak to real estate, but I don't actually have anything under my belt yet. You know what I mean? So these people would be like my first client. But nevertheless, it's like, but I can still help you though, without like begging for the business, attracting the business, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It does. It does. That's a great question, Danila. So in leveraging, so you leverage what you have, which is you have an office with a proven track record.
Okay.
And that is what I would leverage. I would leverage your coach. I would leverage me. And I would say my colleagues, my partners, I wouldn't even say colleagues, my partners have over, 40 years collective experience. And that's who actually partners with me in my transaction. So you're not just getting me, you're getting me and my partner. And you could call my name, you call Diana's name. It doesn't matter. But you can legit say that and say they've closed hundreds of transactions. And so that's who's partnering with me. The difference is that whereas they've got, this portfolio of business and they've got clients, I'm going to be here for you. I am going to be hyper focused on making sure you get the house that you want, or that I sell your home for top dollar, because I'm building my book of business now and I'm creating raving fans in my business now. Right. So like, that's how you flip that. But who's going to be here? We're here right by my side are my partners. Right.
Got it.
And then if this isn't like somebody that you have a relationship with, then on your listing presentations and buyer presentations, you have one of us with you.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would do that. I would do it until you feel comfortable and so confident that you could stand on your own. But I will tell you this, even when I was a new agent, I very rarely got that objection. That objection of you're new. No, it's all how you come across.
Right.
It's all in the confidence and how you present yourself. If you don't present yourself like a new agent, they'll never know you're a new agent. Because hardly any of them are going to say, yeah, how many homes have you sold? Now, if it's a listing presentation, they may say, how many homes have you sold? But I very rarely got that question. I can count on one hand how many times somebody asked me, how many homes have I sold?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think all the new people that I know who I've told I'm in real estate, now they're like, have you sold a home? Have you sold a home? You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm working on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of like, oh, but thank you for that. That was a great tip. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I was just going to say, sorry, you guys. I was just going to say, Danila, that does, it helps when you lump in or when you say my team or my partners, it does negate or it leaves out, okay, I only sold one home or whatever. When you say my team, they usually are like, okay, you have a good support system. So you have a lot of people that's backing up you haven't sold a home, So it kind of like dissipates or it goes away about how many homes or how many, things you sold, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Spoken by somebody who took a listing from an expired, Miss New Agent, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
she used her team. She was calling me, she was calling Diana.
And I use it a lot. I was like, my team and my team and my team. And yeah, it helped.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And we got your back.
Thank you
So
so much. Appreciate it.
absolutely. Kim, I hope you're feeling better, sweetheart.
Girl, I am trying. I am trying.
Baby. Well, you guys have a good week. I hope to see you here during the classes that we're having this week. You guys, showing up is half the battle. You got to show up. This is your business. This is your time. You got to show up when you can. I know sometimes it's hard. And Kim, you take care of yourself because I still hear the sickness. So you take care of yourself. You know what? If you can, and I know some of you guys have jobs and things like that, so it's hard. It's hard to be here. Do something to push the needle every day. I don't care what it is. Do something to positively impact your business every day, whether it's a training, whether it's, and what I would say is make a portion of that lead generation. Call somebody in your database every single day, every day, no matter what. Make that a commitment. Okay. Because we've got to be about spreading the word that you're an agent, and we've got to be about creating that top of mind awareness to folks in your database. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye. Thank you, Brandy.
You're welcome, honey. Thank you.